How's it going, everybody? That's right. If you can hear my voice, it's another apparently hilarious episode of the Coven podcast where we talk about all things nerdy, all things feminism, throw them into the cauldron and see what we get. Bubbling today this week is Overwatch and its attempts and successes at diversity and maybe where it could do better? Question mark? To lead you through this journey, I am your host, Daily Wilhelm, the Witch of the Waylanks. Joining me today is first-time witch.
Dalton Martin. I don't have a fancy name.
Make it, do it.
Witch of the South?
Okay.
Why?
I'm the only person I think I've known is like from southern Indiana, so I'm just kind of like token southern guy.
Okay. Thank you.
And it's done.
And laughing in the corner, we have the lovely
CJ Streetman, managing editor, and I'm not going to lock myself into a name on the spot.
Okay. But we got Dalton.
Will get me eventually.
We got Dalton, too. So to preface this, I should say that personally, I do not play Overwatch.
For
but
shame.
I know, but I'm a big fan of watching and a big fan of what the fandom has created, this massive trash heap of memes.
So you would say you watch over Overwatch.
I watch over Overwatch.
Okay, and now we can't make that joke anymore. It's over.
Okay.
Who watches
one and
the
done.
Overwatch watcher Overwatches?
The Watchmen.
The Overwatchmen.
So you guys play?
Yes, I've invested too many hours in this thing.
Too many. Who do you main usually?
Tanks.
I main Mercy and Roadhog.
Yo.
I would say I Diva, but she got nerfed recently, and
I still haven't given you your hat. It's in my apartment. I'm getting you that.
The hat in question is a diva hat,
the hat
yes?
in question is a black baseball cap, what Dalton is known for around Earth. And
Earth.
that's my one attribute.
Worldwide
I have.
fame.
And it just has Diva's bunny logo on the
Which
forehead.
works.
Yeah.
It works. So, Overwatch, despite my not playing it, I had to recognize it because of how massive it became. Huge instantly. It's got a huge international market, which is probably one of the most notable things about it. It actually, for a little while, overtook League of Legends in popularity in South Korea.
Oh, wow. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
which is kind of crazy when you think about League in South Korea.
I mean, it was super impressive when League overtook StarCraft.
Right. And we're just continually evolving
Blizzard's
from
back
there.
on top.
But League has retaken its throne, but only by,
Blizzard's
I think
back on second to top.
but only by like 1.6%. So still
That's
considerable.
still just wild.
Yeah. And then going with our focus of this fastest selling piece, it was the fastest selling PC game on record so far. It overtook Diablo 3 is what I know. But what I really like to hear about it is straight from lead writer Michael Chu said, I think what we're really inspired by was all the diversity in our world when creating this game. Different cultures, history, the different pop cultures that are in different places, like anime and manga, movies and comic books. We wanted to take inspiration from all these things. And I think it really shows. I mean, with a game like this, it's massively diverse. The first thing I recognized from it, I was like, wait, this character is also from this game? Because aside from art direction, you wouldn't necessarily think such diverse characters were all part of the same cast of characters.
I mean, literally, like, diverse in terms of demographics, but also just diverse in terms of, like, the styles of character. Like, they don't look like they... It's weird, because they don't look like they belong in the same cast, but it feels like they belong in the same world.
Right.
I tried to explain this to my grandfather, of all people, because he was very interested in the game.
Neat.
And it's like, it's a game. It's a shooter, sort of, but it's based in objective play. And I was like, and he
Tell
was,
that to all my
I know,
friends.
right?
Yeah.
And he
You know
got
what I'm
really
talking
confused. Like, but there's like a ninja here, and a knight with a hammer, and then you have this guy with an assault rifle. And I'm like, you've got it. You summed it up. There's even more characters. You got Roadhog, has a hook and
He
a
has
shotgun
hook and a shrapnel gun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got a little girl that rides a mech. And you got your typical sniper people, and then
You have a
literal
robot
angel.
monk. You have a robot monk
Robot monk.
who who
A dwarf that
literally
builds
pelts-
turrets.
Disney Princess Turret.
Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. And then you have the world's emo-ist sniper. I have no heartbeat.
Such a tragic backstory for what.
For a second, I almost thought you meant Anna, and I was like, wait,
Well,
no, she's not.
she also has a ridiculously tragic backstory.
But I would never call her emo.
You have a grandma sniper and an emo sniper.
Grandma sniper and emo sniper, a different emo sniper, but he's emo because he killed his brother.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a
There's a
lot
lot
to
of tragic
sit through.
backstories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we figured all this out from the approximate 2 words of backstory we've gotten for Blizzard.
Yeah. That's something I definitely want to get into later. What people have taken out of this from what little we get from Blizzard.
Just before we even get into that, like 100%, I have a very hard time figuring out, like remembering off the top of my head what is canon and what is just common.
Exactly. Yeah.
Basically, it's a lot of assumptions, and then Blizzard will occasionally come out with an animated short. It's like, canon now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they come out and say, like, that one thing was canon, and then swing a wrecking ball through the rest of the fanon.
Yeah.
You can't
It's
even
like-
rely on, like, the comics all the time because, like, they do every now and then. But, like, sometimes it's hypothetical. Like, I think the most recent one was for the New Year event.
There was a new one for the New Year.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was basically, I think, the journey of the West told through, like, Winston, who's, like, Sun Wukong or whatever.
Yeah, which was entirely fantasy.
Winston is not Sun Wukong. Like,
Yeah.
you can,
No one's trying to say that.
for the Halloween event,
Fight me, I'll say that.
Okay.
Reaper isn't the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was them telling the story.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Journey to the West came out because Overwatch is doing a lot to celebrate the Lunar New Year, which is celebrated in Eastern Asian countries. So that was the 27th, I think, was the official
Yeah,
date
this
of
past
the
Saturday.
this past Saturday. So they released skins for everyone for the Lunar New Year. There's a lot going on. There's different cultures being represented, which I think is awesome. Like Diva's wearing a miniskirt hanbok. Anna is wearing a tall, which is also a Korean mask. We've got Tracer has like cherry blossom armor. Just a lot of stuff. But is that then culturally appropriative? Because like Symmetra, who's Indian and likely practices Hinduism, if anything at all, was given a Chinese Chi Pao skin, and her skin is literally called Chi Pao, and it's still sexualized because apparently Chi Paos in Chinese clothing aren't constantly sexualized enough. I'm reading off of a Tumblr post that I screenshotted, by the way.
Just right off the bat, because that comment opens with the religious thing.
Yep.
The Lunar New Year is important to a variety of religions, but to such a degree that it's celebrated as widely as like it's not Christmas,
Yeah.
but it's that kind of a thing where it has like exceeded the religious connotations of it.
And I think going back with Overwatch trying to be as diverse as it is, it's an opportunity to showcase other things. Like I was never familiar with like the handbook and all that, and now I'm interested in this stuff because now I'm introduced to it. Now if they limited to that to like certain characters and all, I wouldn't know. I'm honestly glad they went with the Lunar New Year because they could have like cheapened out and went with a Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, what would they have gone for that? I wouldn't have been super
I
happy.
Because
am
they did
not
say-
going to take money off of the idea that they do something.
It wasn't going to be a major event. They did say they said they weren't going to do a major event focused on Valentine's Day. They said they were going to have something in February, which turned out to be the lunar event. And so it had a lot of people scratching their heads like, what are they going to do now? So, like, I'm happy
Yeah, I
if
mean, they did.
Yeah.
Like Valentine's Day is such low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Like, look at Destiny over the past year. It's done almost exclusively like very American oriented things, despite having a global audience.
It wasn't Christmas. It was a very winter solstice.
It was winter
event.
solstice. It was
Halloween.
Festival of the
Festival of
Lost. Dawn or something like
Yeah.
for New Year's.
Yeah.
And
They're able to
it
frame
was such
it.
a global game, and they didn't capitalize on that. And Overwatch, which is, as we're talking about today, so devoted to diversity, is capitalizing on that. It's
Yeah.
very much doing a wide variety of things, and I think it was mostly testing the water with stuff like the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
Because the Olympics one was iffy. Like, they just didn't do that very well, but it was very much right out the gate. They were talking about a global thing.
Yeah.
The Olympics one was just like athletic wear.
Yeah.
However, it did gift us with the incredible thing of Farah slam dunking a ball in the raptor suit.
Get dunked
Yes.
on.
I use that spray.
It's the best.
I have alternatives,
Wonderful.
but I just love that one.
Okay.
Wonderful. But so yeah, absolutely, like what you said, Dalton, I wasn't hugely familiar about Lunar New Year. I did not think that it stretched elsewhere aside from China, because that's what you grow up with in rural Indiana. It's like, hey, it's Chinese New Year, we're going to write some like calligraphy today because
See,
let's
but
have
what you're
something to
talking about- What
do.
you're talking about is actually the high end of the spectrum in Indiana, because
Yeah.
most of Indiana is, what's Chinese New Year?
I always
Essentially.
celebrated the first.
Yeah, exactly. Why would we celebrate that? We ain't Chinese.
Being
Oh my
resident
God.
Southern
Yeah.
expert here.
So
There you
yeah,
go.
the Witch of the South. Thank you for regaling us with that. But yeah, no, essentially, I do think it did a lot to introduce people to something they might have not been familiar with. And then for the people that do celebrate that, that's like an amazing shout out. It's
Absolutely
like,
the first time I've ever seen that represented in a video game.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, hey, you know that thing that I do this weekend? Yeah, look, it's on Overwatch. Like, pay attention because someone is.
Yeah.
Which I really like. Yeah, essentially, I screenshotted this argument that it's culturally appropriative because everyone got a skin. Everyone was a part of this, especially with what happened with the 4 characters in Journey to the West. So that was Zenyatta, Reinhardt, Roadhog, and Winston essentially took those roles of those folk heroes.
Let's see. Roadhog was, I can never remember the name, but he was the pig dude.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that's, let's be real, that's a bit low hanging fruit.
Zubaji.
Pretty much.
I'm going to butcher pronunciation. I'm
See, I know
learning.
the story of Journey to the West. but I-
Zenyatta was the Sun Prince, right?
Yes.
And let's see who. Oh yeah, I just almost forgot who Sun Wukong was on the Overwatch. I wonder if it's the giant monkey.
Who could
Gorilla.
it be?
Can I just leave?
Who could it be? Yeah, essentially it's just like, why are you mad when, why are you just, you're finding a reason to be mad about something when really it's like, yay, people who actually celebrate this are happy about it. No one's like, I can't believe that a German, well, the Reinhardt one's a little iffy almost.
Yeah, the Reinhardt one is questionable, but when you say that an Asian-coded robot and a monkey are wearing yellow face, there's like, there's just some base level stuff that like just doesn't functionally work. Like, I get the argument with Reinhardt because he portrays a very important character in Journey to the West whose name I can't remember because it's been years since I've read it, but he's like the Sun King, right? Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, and just, I don't know, like, the other 3 characters, it's very much like, well, yeah, this fits the character. It's not a religious holiday. It's functionally, we're going to have characters cosplay important people to this festival.
Yeah, I like the word that you use, cosplay, thinking
Yeah,
of it
'cause
as
people do
cosplay.
that.
Yeah.
I think the issue is like if people, what would be the alternative if it wasn't Reinhardt? Who would it be then? And that comes like the question. It's like, did they have an alternative? They went with the best person to represent.
I mean, functionally, I literally have seen people arguing that only Diva and Mei should have had skins. So, like, that is a mindset that's out there.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's just,
Yeah.
and it's like, the whole thing of Overwatch, like, we're talking about the diversity here. The whole thing of Overwatch is trying to, like, spread these cultures. Like, it's a matter of, we're taking people from all over the world, from all different cultures, and trying to represent those cultures here. It's not a matter of, ooh, this piece of culture is cool. It's a matter of, look at this cool piece of culture and really learn about it.
Yeah, there's a connection there. It's not being like, we're not giving any credit to where this originally came
Like,
from.
can we have a Google Trend search of Lunar New Year this year compared to any other year ever?
Ooh,
Because I'm sure it's
Especially
much
state
higher.
like United statewide.
yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
But it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense because this event is almost simultaneously trying to introduce to a lot of people who may not be familiar with it, and then it lets them like an outlet to appreciate it more, and that kind of goes along the lines of, sure, Reinhardt isn't Asian, but the dude could still appreciate it, like in the cosplay aspect.
Fundamentally, appropriation is taking the culture without the people.
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch isn't doing that.
Yeah.
Overwatch is taking both and trying to act and trying to appropriately appreciate both.
There is a significant spike, according to Google Trends, of countries where Lunar New Year is not necessarily celebrated, Googling what is Lunar New Year. So like Australia, United States.
You got North America, Australia, and it looks like India.
Yeah, India too. I don't know what they do
What do you mean what they do?
for if they celebrate New Year in a particular way. Because I know
Off the top of my head, I know very, very little about Hindu culture, which,
Yeah, same.
regardless of what percent it is, it dominates Indian culture. So
Yeah.
I don't know. No confidence on commenting on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a good stepping off point into the controversy with one of Farah's skins.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So one of the initial launch skins for Legendary, right? That's the top tier?
Yes.
I always want to say Epic, but they got those switched backwards.
Epic.
The Legendary skin Thunderbird and Rain Dancer
Yeah.
for Farah depict what appears to be a Native American style eagle in addition to just a bunch of other Native American motifs.
She's
which,
wearing like a headdress to some extent.
yeah,
Right.
and it's some stuff that like right out the gate we all kind of looked at and were like, that doesn't seem quite right. And in light of the recent Christmas comic and then just in general kind of realizations about the way that Blizzard is doing things, I kind of came to the shocking realization that probably had to do with Farah's dad, but apparently everyone beat me to that by like 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Add on 2 years.
Yeah.
But the Native Americans of Canada also share much of the same imagery. So like it's something that was alluded to from the very beginning, and honestly makes a lot of sense.
That's part of her heritage. So it's okay. It's not appropriative
It's
in
like
that
we started
sense.
with one single puzzle piece, and then we got more.
Yeah.
To create
Really,
a picture.
really, we just got like someone described to us the picture of the puzzle, and we were like, that doesn't sound very good. And then they put the puzzle together, and we were like,
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions I had about. No, we're good. There was a lot of questions I had about the Christmas comic. I mean, we're going to get to the main bit, of course, with being Tracer's revealed sexuality. But my real question here is, Hanzo has an edgy haircut, and the bridge of his nose is pierced.
Hanzo's hot. Like
Yeah.
that's the most.
But
important
like,
thing here.
why?
The one thing that like blew my mind out of that was Hanzo. I've always like thought was supposed to be this mafia type boss.
Yeah.
Like Yakuza?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there
He's
he
out
is.
in his strange hoodie
'Cause
buying
his-
cake because that's what you do on
because,
Christmas in Japan. You
his
buy cake.
backstory is heavily like it seems it's all honor, family, and like business.
Yeah.
And then you just have him just like, yeah, he's cool.
But you kind
You
of
see a softer side of him, and kind of almost.
yeah.
Even though he tries to, maybe that's what it is. Because he's showing that softer moment, he has to make up for that with how edgy he looks in that moment.
I feel like we're kind of getting the sense that he's removed himself from the whole situation of his family because of his guilt over killing Genji,
Quote unquote,
quote
killing.
unquote killing Genji.
Right.
And I thought it was very heavily implied that the animated short Dragons was before everything, and then they kind of reconcile.
You think before the recall of Overwatch?
Yeah, I think that's set
Oh.
before.
Mm.
I interpreted. I guess I don't really know what Hanzo's role is connected to Overwatch.
He's
in
just
any
a
way.
He's
brother.
Yeah,
just
exactly. So I don't really
angry.
know. Any
He's
way
not connected to
place it.
Overwatch nor Talon. He's just there.
he's just trying to pick up his brother from school. Everything got really mixed up.
And he
I guess
stabbed
his-
him multiple times.
I guess his only
Oops.
connection is Genji being fixed up by Angela, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then even then Genji's just like master like to no, he's not the master. Zenyatta's his master.
Yeah.
Which, how old is Genji?
Genji's like 20 something.
Yeah,
Zenyatta's
22.
Yeah. Like,
I just think that's hysterical.
But okay, the main event,
The important
obviously,
thing.
of Reflections, the comic that was released, was Tracer has a significant other named Emily. A lot of people.
Shockingly close to Amelie.
Yeah. Oh. Well. But so then essentially.
Wait, Dalton just worked up something and then squashed it.
Them teases.
There you go.
Okay. But so this is very significant because it was essentially officially confirmed that Tracer is either gay or bi.
They flat out stated that she is gay. She's not bi. She's just.
Oh,
flat.
okay.
Yes, they tweeted that in regard.
Okay,
later.
I'm a little sad face because more bi representation, please. But it's still a massive step.
Like for the biggest possible reason is when you think Overwatch, you think Tracer.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, she's on the cover.
Yeah.
She
was the first character
Overwatch.
introduced almost. I think she was.
She was the most charming one anyway. In like the
She's the
cinematic trailer, yeah.
Because originally they were really focusing on Winston, and at some point they switched it around to where Tracer was the face of Overwatch. Tracer is what you think of. Tracer looks like what Overwatch feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winston.
That's a good description.
Not so much.
Yeah, Winston, I love Winston a lot, and I think he does definitely fit in with, like, the aesthetic, but, like, you want to see Tracer.
I have 13 minutes of playtime with Winston, so that'll tell you how I feel
yeah.
about Winston as a
I
character.
Yeah.
try him, yeah. He's okay.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, just the fact that, like, that was the core of the entire comic.
Yeah.
Tracer getting home to her girlfriend to have a cute little...
I got you
ready
something.
to go to Winston's cute little Christmas.
Yeah.
With,
I love that. You know what I really loved, though, is
Winston and
that
Athena.
some people reacted to this with, it's just her roommate. They're just roommates.
Oh my
Yes.
God, did
That's
they
what I do with my
Gal
roommates. I just
pals.
go up and just like, come here, boy. Come here.
Gal pals,
They
right?
seriously gal pals this?
I've seen
I
people
did
gal
not
pal
see
it.
that.
Yeah.
It was very rare, but like for the forum posts, they were like, I don't see why people like that. They could just be really close roommates or something.
Someone said it was like, is that her sister? And it's like, how do you treat your sister?
If I'm being real, I honestly expect that to be coming more from Widow Tracer shippers than from people who are against gay Tracer.
Exactly my point. Everyone was like, my ship is ruined. Do not ruin my ship.
The way that they phrased it before Tracer's outing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Revelation, reflection
before,
in
before
revelation.
they revealed this about
Yeah.
Tracer, was that there was a queer character in the game Overwatch. That is how they phrased it.
Yeah.
There is a queer character. And that was something that was always very disappointing to me. And, like, the fact that they're now kind of teasing, there's more queer people.
I
like,
have a quote
Give me that
from...
quote.
I give you that quote. From head writer Michael Chu. It's very important
God
for
bless
us.
Michael Chu.
Yes, really. It's very important for us to have diversity and inclusiveness of all types, and that includes LGBT characters. There are definitely LGBT heroes in Overwatch. That's multiple heroes.
So, like, once again, my number one concern that Zarya is trans. I don't want them to do that because that's so easy and it fits into so many stereotypes.
Yeah. It should be noted, too, that the comic Reflections on the Russian site was blocked. It said, in accordance with Russian law, we cannot share this comic with our players on territory of Russian Federation.
If they consider it,
It's gay propaganda.
Yeah, it's gay propaganda.
However, Blizzard said in a release, basically, there are some countries where we can't have this, but you can probably, but in like very sneaky words, but you can probably find translations somewhere.
Ha ha ha. I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you Google it, it's going to pop up because of how it was news. It was a big thing. I didn't realize it until it popped up on my news feed it wasn't even Kotaku. It was like, I think it was BuzzFeed even covered it. And BuzzFeed usually doesn't do that.
Mm-mm.
But because it was LGBT related, it blew up in different spheres, which I think was really neat because I think that kind of draws people in more and is like, hey, actually games are getting better when it comes to queer representation. So, hey, it's okay. I swear this is a safe place. It's not in any way yet, but we're moving forward.
But if you think of it this way, and the reason it probably got even more press is you have Overwatch, which is arguably one of the biggest games of last year.
Has straight up one of the largest install bases of all time.
Yep.
So won so many rewards, so many accolades, and then your face, the person that everyone sees when they get the game, identified as LGBT.
Seriously, they straight up
Amazing.
hetero-baited everyone, and I love it.
No,
Yeah.
people were genuinely upset.
I
That was
know,
like part of the
those
argument in the
people
forums.
Can eat it. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
I just really like that people got angry. Not,
People were genuinely angry
the
about
thing
this
wasn't
of
that
all
people were
things.
angry because Tracer was gay, but they were angry because she's not gay with the person they want her to be.
Who else do? Oh, with
Yeah, the shippers, which we're going to talk about
We're
ships
gonna talk about that at the end
soon enough.
because there is one objectively best one.
Wow,
Objectively
we're
best
we're gonna throw down maybe here. I don't know, but what I have to ask you guys then. So you said already, CJ, you are hoping.
I'm very concerned that I know Blizzard does well in almost all regards, but trans representation is so young and so poorly done so often that I'd really just rather that not happen.
Yeah.
Like to that character that so many people already love. I would hate for that to be tainted by a bad representation of an identity that doesn't have very much good representation.
Right. So who would you guys want to see?
Well,
I'll
bring this up in the shipping
So
conversation.
Okay.
So there were I had like few conversations online with different groups I'm part of, and that was like one of the things that's like we always try to figure out because like you said there was one, so it was like you have 23 people to choose from. Who's it going to be? And there was I had like different guesses. I thought maybe Lucio, maybe Tracer was in there.
Let's be real though. One of them is absolutely Sombra with the retractable fingernails.
I
We're
love
being
that.
Foolish if we say that that's not the case.
But then going back to the this is me thinking possibly even what I want it to be, just because I would love this, is going back to the Christmas comic. One of the scenes is you see Reinhardt and Torbjorn at Torbjorn's house with his like 13 kids.
Yeah.
Torbjorn has like 13 kids.
He literally 13. I counted
And I'm thinking
them.
like, okay, Reinhardt.
In that picture. Oh, gosh.
Reinhardt is like 70, 80 something. He's really old.
Well, canonically, he was around when Homestuck was.
Yeah. I'm feeling, and there's like...
That's been made canon.
Oh my
we
gosh.
know this.
Lord.
Reinhardt could be a Homestuck fan.
I'm thinking that maybe like Reinhardt being like, I would think like maybe he's gay. I'm thinking that's
Like with Torbjorn though?
No, not Torbjorn. Torbjorn
Okay.
has a wife. With
Yeah, because
13
he has a
kids.
We know he
beautiful
has a
wife.
But
he has a beautiful wife.
also like, I think he also has like a liege of sorts. It's like this young girl that follows him around. Like I think she's like
Future
word?
character.
future possibly.
Yeah.
And so I'm like maybe that. I could like I still think Lucio could be a possibility. If there's anybody, and I'm trying to think even more, like there's a lot of, making it open-ended makes it like anybody could.
Yeah, I like that they leave it open because then it's like you can put that interpretation on that character and you're not necessarily wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing to prove you wrong.
At this point, I just really want everything possible to make the same people angry that like the Tracer people were angry about. So I want Hannah Song to be asexual just so that she can't be their like pixie dream girl sex fantasy.
Yeah.
I could see that. One thing, there was an argument on the Overwatch subreddit like months ago over the debate of whether like Bastion. It's like, is Bastion male, female? And then people are like, no, he's just, no, it's robot. Like,
Robot.
why are we arguing about this?
Not male or female, but AI.
Yeah.
So like
And that was like, and that was
could have attraction.
there were at
in
least
a romantic sense.
the whole
I guess.
front page of the subreddit was just that argument with different like like their own stance on it. I'm just do something, Blizzard, with this.
Address this somehow.
Give Bastion boobs.
New skin.
Give him baps.
New skin. Fembot.
But
Bastion.
yeah, like,
Doesn't
I
make
don't
sense
know.
for Zenyatta because
So-
he's tranquil, unless it's like a sensei.
I don't know where we're going here.
Genji and Zenyatta.
well, here's just a thing that I've had pointed out to me, and it's very, very important to me. Every other Omnic we've seen that's in the same model type as Zenyatta has been ripped, and Zenyatta's a little twink. And I love that. And it makes me so happy. He is the tiniest Omnic
Yeah.
that we have seen.
Yeah. I'm glad you bring that up. Excellent segue.
I don't know what I'm segueing into. It's like Christmas for me.
Ooh.
Body types.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
So,
There's a lot of different.
there's a lot to cover because I think that's what Overwatch has done best, in my opinion, when it comes to trying to be diverse, not only in pulling people from many different cultures and representing them well, but also making people look like people.
Making people look like people, and then in like we discussed this before, in one of the most stunning things, half the cast is disabled in some way.
Yeah.
It's magical.
Yeah. I never thought about that until you brought that up, but when you get down to it, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like half of them have prosthetics.
Genji is 90% prosthetic.
Genji is a prosthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Symmetra, who is
Symmetra.
autistic, and I believe there's been some discussion with Junkrat, who I'm not familiar with.
He doesn't have a
100%.
leg. He's
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he's got
yeah.
he has a peg leg. Like McCree has a robot arm. Theoretically, Farah might have robot parts. We don't know. It's a fanon idea.
Right.
Lucio might, but there's like Symmetra does, Torbjorn does. Which can we just talk about the fact that Torbjorn was like, I don't have a hand, so I could get a prosthetic hand,
But-
or I could get a giant magma claw.
true.
Yeah,
Priorities. You can open the pickle jar better that way.
yeah.
Let's be real.
Maybe
But
he's
yeah,
got
and
like
then
an
just-
attachment. He is
Yeah.
like a workshop dude. He probably has.
I'm pretty
Multiple
sure in one of
attachments.
his sprays he has a spatula flipping
Yes.
stuff as a chef.
He's the
and-
Swedish chef.
Yeah, he's
I lo-
flipping something. with
Oh
it,
my
but-
gosh. That's wonderful.
But then just like body types in general, like straight up the fact that there is a character that looks like Mei,
yeah.
and like that never happens.
Yeah. No. It's always, if that
It's
does
always
happen.
Widowmaker.
Yeah. It's
100%
always
of video
Widowmaker.
games, it's
Like,
Widowmaker is your stereotypical femme fatale.
Which here's
Yeah.
the thing: a lot of people criticize Widowmaker's character model and type, and it's like those criticisms would be valid if this was the only representation of the female body
Right.
here.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, Widowmaker is a representation in a sea of representation. That makes the representation good because it is varied.
right.
Yeah.
Versus with a game like League, which the article that I looked over for talking about different body types within Overwatch, it just had picture after picture of female character in League.
Or
and
even
it's all,
Smite.
or even Smite,
Smite's
it's all
notorious for
the
that.
same, very bodacious, but curves in all the right places. It's just this same silhouette that doesn't reflect the abilities that that person has, which is always like,
It's always
wait,
frustrating.
so you're going to go and do this massive, amazing thing. You're going to jump over things, but you look like you've skipped leg day your entire life. Wait a minute.
And then just like something that we don't normally get to talk about because normally it doesn't matter because normally it's not done this well. Male body type variation
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Like the fact of the matter is, in one of the better ships that we can get to later, but with Roadhog and Junkrat right there, like drastically different body types, like just right off the bat. You just have like, and neither of them are really athletic, muscled white dude.
Yeah.
They fit that perfect like 90s.
Timon and
brand
Pumbaa.
of- Not even that, but you also like what's their like Bones and
Cow and chicken.
yeah, but what's the guy in Power Rangers?
We're just naming them.
We're the Power Rangers people. It's like you got the small little dude and you got the big buff guy. that
Big
does,
bad
like,
Beetleborgs.
God, I don't remember the name. It's like Bones and something. But like that dynamic works so well. I love Roadhog. Roadhog is amazing.
Yeah. No, I just really love seeing, like, when you see the outlines of the characters, you're like, I know exactly who that is. There's no confusion.
It serves a mechanical purpose, and it serves a purpose in terms of just creating a better world that these characters exist in.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is no ludonarrative dissonance in that instance. It is functional and perfect.
Yeah.
Like
that,
with Diva, for example.
Yeah.
When she's in her mecha, giant walking tank badass. But
Yeah.
then when she loses it, she's running all over the place, agile.
You still know,
But
exactly.
she's kind of a glass cannon almost because she deals a lot of damage, but she can't take it.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes sense. It's body types reflecting what the mechanics are telling you, too. It is interesting, though, that in the 2014 BlizzCon reveal of Overwatch, the only female characters they showed was Mercy, Tracer, and Pharah, who are all kind of the same body type.
In the reveal? I thought the reveal was the fight in the museum with
When they were like, I think initially
they dropped screenshots.
Yeah,
first.
screenshots
Yeah.
I,
first.
I remember that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, but then now we have like Zarya, Anna, and Mei. Which Anna, I didn't even think about it until I read this article. It's like, yeah, Anna has an old lady body.
Yeah, there's
It makes sense.
I was going to bring this up, like, in the discussion of body types. There's old people.
Yeah.
There are old people in this game.
Reinhardt, even though he is a giant hulking metal man, one of his
He's
like
grandpa.
victory poses is like my back.
He's grandpa.
Yeah.
I personally feel that he is actually my grandpa because his last name is Wilhelm and my last name is Wilhelm. So
What's his first name?
Reinhardt.
Is it actually? I
Wait,
thought that was
yeah,
his code
Reinhardt
name.
Wilhelm. Wait, no, you're right. He doesn't have a different first
I
name.
don't know what his first name is. Reinhardt is his last name, though. I don't know what his first
Wait,
name is.
no,
Is
his
he
last
Wilhelm
name is
Reinhardt?
Wilhelm.
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, screw it.
Anyway.
Not important.
I mean, Reinhardt
I'm
is a
related
very
to Reinhardt,
stereotypical
damn it.
German character.
But
Daly's going to grow up to be big and strong, too.
yes, that's what I want. And that's what people can do now. There's more representation of women growing up to be big and strong like Zarya.
Yeah, straight up, Zarya is one that's really impressive to me, which is part of why I want to protect that really well-done character so much, because it's so easy to have, like, this joke character of the buff woman.
Yeah.
Like, just this butch woman. Zarya is super femme.
Yeah,
Like, she is ridiculously femme and also ripped.
yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
You can do both. Amazing. People might not have thought it before, but you can do both.
Yeah, just little things like that, little
And her
touches. that-
backstory explains it so well, too.
I'm not familiar with her backstory.
Her
Give it to
backstory
me.
is when she always wanted to be a bodybuilder for the whole Russia, and she was in like the Olympics. She was a gold medalist.
I mean, she lifted 512 kilograms.
Yeah, and then the Omnics attacked, and so she sacrificed her like career as being a gymnast. Not a gymnast. Not a gymnast.
Impressive.
She
a
is very
bodybuilder.
agile.
The parallel
as well.
bars can hold her?
She basically gave up that life to fight against the Omnics, and she became like a super soldier of sorts that could carry that particle cannon.
Which
that,
was ripped off of a tank.
which ripped
it
off-
was just a
It
tank.
wasn't
weapon.
just a tank, it was those mechs you saw in
Yeah.
that. If it takes a super mech to carry that, she just wields that everywhere.
And actually, the fight against the Omnics reminds me of another thing that I think that Blizzard has just done tremendously well with character development. Zarya's a racist.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she is terrible to Omnic teammates. Like
A lot
she-
of
she-
it's a mix because you have some characters that are embrace Omnics like Lucio and Genji, but then you have people like you have Zarya, Torbjorn to some extent.
Yeah, Torbjorn's like ambivalent to negative.
Mm-hmm.
Zarya hates Omnics. And in a world where Omnics are like they have civil rights, she's racist.
Yeah.
And it's like this is a very well-developed character. This
Yeah.
is a character with a flaw. This is a lovable character with a tremendous flaw. And that's something that a lot of games are scared to do is to put something negative onto otherwise lovable characters.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the characterization of Zarya.
And because what's one of the comments she makes on the Numbani map, it's like I can't see
I
how
can't
humans and
imagine
Omnic, how Omnics and humans can like live together like this after like what happened, and so it fits her character because like Russia, I think was the thing that took like the most damage.
Yeah, it was-
These
it was-
giant
Yeah.
mechs came up and like destroyed
If you look
everything.
at Volskaya Industries, there's
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it make like they fully fleshed out these characters. They don't explicitly say it. It's left to the player to find it, interpret it.
There you go.
You got
there
it.
we go. Finally got it. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate characters being much more than what they appear, or like their culture having the background like that there's a reason behind what they say or what they do, just all the little things like that.
Because fundamentally, it would be so easy to go like the Team Fortress 2 route and have everyone just be these stereotypes, and
Yeah.
they
Right.
just don't.
Yeah, I appreciate that female characters aren't stuck in stereotypical roles either. They're not all healers.
And even like if you go even further back, like the so and so bad guys of the Overwatch game, Reaper and Widowmaker. Widowmaker is the most complicated character if you look into her backstory and her
absolutely.
stuff, because her backstory is given like on Blizzard's website is she was brainwashed into killing her husband.
Whew.
But if you go back into the winter comic, she's there mourning, I think, the grave of her dead husband.
That's what
Yeah.
we're left to assume.
Yeah.
And then even then, like Reaper, no, Reaper is the most mysterious.
Yeah,
of the
we don't know,
characters.
like,
you know who he is, and you know kind of some like the animosity he has with the Overwatch
Yeah.
team.
And there's a little bit of a sense that maybe Mercy was responsible for his current state of being.
Maybe that's
Right.
another thing. Like
Right.
comments that just
Yeah.
dropped.
Yeah, the pre-game comments are really where you get most of your story for
Yeah.
Overwatch, which is
It's like Reaper, what
Yeah.
happened to you?
I mean,
It's like,
technically, the game makes no sense in the canon because it's
it's
just.
stated that it's a canonical.
Yeah,
which
it's
I want an
just-
Overwatch movie. Give it to me. Grabby.
I think
It was
that's
going
what
to
they
be a
wanted
movie.
at
It was
some
originally
point.
going to be a movie.
That's fine,
And then
but
they
I want
realized
the game
like,
and the movie.
yeah, so
Both.
maybe years from now, it took how long to make a Warcraft movie?
No, don't say it like that.
I tried to see. This is totally an aside. I tried to see Warcraft literally 2 weeks after it came out. It was out of theaters. What happened?
It was bad.
Okay.
That's why. But anyway, it did serve a global audience, which is what Overwatch serves, and it serves many different people. And but one of the things that should be before we move on here, in general, with how important the way the characters look, important the way the characters are, functions. Let's just address it. The Mei Glitch,
Which was hysterical.
It was there and gone because they fixed it, but
it only appeared in the PTR.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny because it was just Mei, except it was skinny Mei.
Well, it was when she did a certain move, right? It wasn't it like the ice wall made her waist go super skinny.
Yeah. Basically, when I saw screenshots of it, it's May's already in like a tight dress anyway in this, but it got even tighter, like corset type tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the body dimensions did not make any sense.
Yeah. To the point where it was 10,000% obvious that it was a mistake.
It was a bug, and everyone, most people saw it as a bug, and other
There were
people
a
were
lot
like,
of
Blizzard,
people.
what are you trying to pull here?
Yeah.
But Blizzard, being good guy Blizzard here, instantly was like, yeah, it's a bug.
Yeah.
We got this.
They were not trying to pull.
It was very reminiscent of the original Widowmaker expand butt thing when she activated her ultimate.
Beautiful. That's what we're here for, though, right, guys?
The butt?
The butt. We're here
I
for
thought
the
we were
butt.
here for the BAPS from the last episode I was on.
Lord, I did not remember the BAPS. Go listen to that fine episode.
What a
It'll
mechanic
be.
I
that would
believe that episode was about Siege on Dragonspear.
Yeah,
Okay.
go check that one out.
Infrared vision gives you a bodacious booty.
It's
That's-
it's a side effect. Your fall damage is reduced.
That said, the way Tracer runs around and does not skip leg day, Tracer's got a nice butt. But we had
Get off the pod.
the last episode of the Coven did say that women aren't funny, so I should have expected this. So also plugging that.
Great
but
episode.
okay, anyway, so the Tracer pose fiasco.
From way early on.
That was
Way
early
early on.
Like when it launched.
Yeah.
That was
No, but it was before launch.
That was in beta.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
beta.
it was beta.
That was in beta.
So things were evolving then still. Things were still changing. But one of the things that was kind of demanded to change by some outspoken users, and especially this one user, Phipps, which I will read some of his argument. It was the pose where it's Tracer just standing and like looking over her shoulder, and it's all about the butt in that photo. I mean, it's kind of the unavoidable part because I'm not sure how her pants work still.
When you make someone 90% legs and they're turned around, yeah, that's how linear direction works.
Yeah, I mean, everything was pointing toward that orange peach, as it were. But
I just died a little inside.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But so the argument here that was addressed by the dev team is that Phipps said Tracer isn't a character who is in part defined by flaunting her sexuality. This pose says to the player base, oh, we've got all these cool, diverse characters, but at any moment we are willing to reduce them to sex symbols to help boost our investment game. What I'm asking is that you continue to add to the game cast and investment elements. You double down on your commitment to create strong female characters. You've been doing a good job so far, but shipping with a Tracer pose like this undermines so much of what you've already done. And then this was instantly more or less addressed by senior Blizzard VP Jeff Kaplan.
Shout out to Kaplan.
Shout out to Kaplan. He said, we want everyone to feel strong and heroic in our community. The last thing we want to do is make someone feel uncomfortable, underappreciated, or misrepresented. Apologies, and we'll continue to try to do better. So there's two sides of what happened here, though, is that it was addressed and it changed.
And it changed to a much better pose. It wasn't like, oh, now you don't see Tracer's butt. It was, yeah, now Tracer's posing in such a way that makes sense for Tracer to be
It
doing.
looks like Tracer.
It's, for those who don't know, it's Tracer running, but facing away, laughing over her shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like mid-hurdle looking.
Yeah, it looks like she's stepping over something very
yeah.
high.
So I know when this whole ordeal was going down, a lot of people were getting like quotes from different people, and I believe, if I remember correctly, they knew that this was going to be an issue internally. They felt like it didn't seem right. They just hadn't changed it yet. So that's why it was like a quick fix. They already had something in place almost like ready for this. It just, the stars aligned, someone called them out for it. It's like, finally, someone, like, we know this and we're ready for it. And then I guess afterwards when they kind of fixed it, then that's when you had other people get mad because they're like, why'd you do it? You sold out, Blizzard.
Yeah, that was a lot
the
of
fixing of the Skinny Mei thing.
No, that Skinny Mei thing. The
Tracer pose.
butt.
Oh, that's yes. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you're good. But the thing was, I saw a lot of people being like, oh, Blizzard's gonna give in so easily to anyone getting butt hurt over anything. Like, you're giving into the PC culture or something like
People
that.
were salty about this.
People
That
were
made
salty.
No sense.
Shocking. Like,
It's such a simple thing.
A lot of gamers are terrible. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. But literally, the core of their argument comes from completely ignoring the fact that Blizzard opened with like, yeah, we were thinking about changing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Like,
ignore
literally,
that.
That just completely like tanks the argument, and it's literally just
And then they're like,
Scumbags.
no, you're just lying. You're making that up.
yeah, it's literally just scumbags at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the original argument someone brought up was that, like, I don't know if it was this user Phipps or not, but they were like, so I'm really wanting to play this with, like, my
dog.
girls.
That was in Phipps's.
Yeah, and he was like, and then we saw this, and it's like, I don't want to have to explain to them why Tracer looks like this. I don't want to, like, go into, well, the game industry usually sexualizes women.
Which, let's be real, you should be teaching your kids that very early.
Yeah, but it might feel alienating at first. It might feel like, I'm not going to be a part of this at all because games aren't good to me. It's an understandable aversion to something that doesn't treat you well. Yet we persevere. We keep on gaming.
Though
So far.
despite this whole ordeal, Overwatch highly successful. It's
Yes.
like it didn't even matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really didn't.
And
It-
like, I loved all the people who were like, "I'm never buying this product." And it's like, who cares?
You
It's
broke
a
this
Blizzard
game for me.
yeah.
Like, literally, saying you're going to boycott Blizzard doesn't matter.
Literally unplayable.
Never
now.
will.
Literally unplayable now. Jeez. I mean, how
I hate
could-
this first-person game where I can't even see Tracer's butt. Now that I can't see Tracer's butt.
What do you mean I have to win to see this pose?
Yeah,
That's actually
yeah.
what most of them are mad about. They're just really bad at the game too.
Let's get down to the core of it. You can't see it at all because you're not going to win.
Oh my
Because
god.
you're terrible.
Get
in
your
the
head in
first
the
place.
game, not in butt.
Get your head in the game and out of Tracer's butt. Tagline for this podcast.
There
I
we
love
go.
it. I
Incredible.
dig it. I know a lot of people. It's always, unfortunately, stemming with Tracer, but we've already said she's kind of the face of Overwatch as we know it.
Face and butt of Overwatch, yeah.
The face and butt of Overwatch. But Genji, though.
Okay,
Have you
yeah,
seen those
you're
memes?
right.
Yeah, Genji, though.
He's got buns of steel,
The
man.
most recent thing I've
Literally.
seen, the most recent thing I've seen is something where Genji's like, "But master, why must I have such a bootylicious butt with nothing to use it for?"
Because.
And if you think about it this way, Mercy designed him like that.
Yeah, no. Mercy put some work onto that movie.
I love headcanons like that.
That's not a headcanon.
That's
She
just
made
canon.
Put
his
them back
butt.
together.
That is canon. She made that butt.
But I like especially the headcanon that like she like was like thinking about this more than anything else. She was like, I need to calibrate this exactly the slope of each cheek. Like, let's get down to science
He
here.
doesn't need a face, but he needs a nice, nice firm butt.
Yep.
I love
Mercy's
so,
got her priorities in check.
I mean, yeah. Same. But anyway, so
I mean, let's be real. When she's chasing him around, healing him, she's got to look at something.
yeah. Hey.
That's it.
I like the thing that when Mercy got the letter from Genji in the Reflections comics, it just says
Heals,
need
please."
heals please. Yeah, I love that. But so that kind of gets down to one of my final topics for this wonderful podcast with you guys, headcanon. So the fandom has done a lot in Overwatch. I think it's notable to say that a big part of the fandom which is kind of where I'm at. I don't even play the game, but I'm
That's where a lot of
invested.
You can
people are at.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
still.
That's where a
I can
lot of
appreciate
people are
it.
at.
I'm invested in the characters and the stories that they tell and the stories that they don't necessarily canonically tell.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it. Who's your ships, guys? Who's your ships?
Mercy. Through and through, Farah and Mercy is the best. Like, for two reasons. One, every piece of fan art and fan content about it is the cutest thing in the world.
There's even a game mode built around it.
I'm going to go 3. Well, yes, there absolutely is. There's an entire game mode. One, the fan art and fan work is incredible. 2, I simply love, given how young Mercy was initially in the original bit of Overwatch, the concept of Farah having a childhood crush on her that then reversed when they were both really grown-up adults.
I've seen that. I love that.
I just love that concept. And then 3, they work mechanically. Like, fact of the matter is, in a way that I don't think Blizzard really anticipated, the Guardian Angel mechanic and the rocket jump mechanic, like, just fundamentally make those characters that go together.
Yeah.
I was never familiar with the ship name. It's Pharmacy?
Pharmacy or Rocket Angel.
It sounds like pharmacy then, though,
Yes.
which, okay, yes, okay. I just wanted people to know that.
PSA.
PSA, pharmacy.
So
Dalton.
there's too many to even wrap my head around, and like we saw that picture of the webs
Okay,
of
we
people
get it. It's
connecting
Genji and
stuff.
Torbjorn.
No.
Come on, Dalton. Just say it.
Oh, man.
Torbjorn's married with 13 kids.
Yeah, that's who he's married to.
Genji put on a wig. He just put on a wig.
When Mercy rebuilt him, he just got a uterus, too.
Yeah,
There you go.
All
he
right.
stores it in the butt.
Honestly, like, even though I was talking about, like,
Jeez.
so everyone's always trying to figure out, like, who Farah's mom is, and there's that whole, like, okay, it could be,
You mean dad. Farah's dad.
Yeah.
You said mom.
Mom.
We know Farah's mom.
Farah's dad, it's like,
Are we sure?
It's either Jack, it could be Soldier 76, could be Reaper, and I'm like, no, you're missing the whole point here. It's also, it could be Reinhardt, too.
I do like that
It's
one.
alluded
I like
to
that
the
ship.
fact that the interactions with Anna and Reinhardt, or it's like
Looking good as ever.
looking good as ever. It's like, or like the sudden realize like you're not dead this whole time. And even like in the winter event, there was the sprays that had Reinhardt fishing with
Much
Farah.
worse than Farah.
And so it's like that's something you would do with like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
daughter,
yeah.
son,
Yeah.
whatever. So it makes
That's
sense. So
sweet.
maybe, I mean, it could just be totally somebody else. It could be
I
somebody who's
still
not
think
even a
it's
character.
this random Canadian person who...
Doomfist.
That, I was honestly about to say that. I think it's in the Founders that the black dude whose name we have no indication of so far
Mhm.
could be him.
Yeah.
A.
In the future, Doomfist x Roadhog. Don't even know the characters, but predicting it now.
Well,
Okay.
given that what's his name wants to play
Terry Crews.
given that Terry Crews wants to play Doomfist, I'm there for that.
Oh my gosh. Please. Can we. I
'Cause
didn't know
here's the thing,
that. That's
Roadhog,
wonderful.
Even though he's chunky, he is like built too. He's got those like muscly arms.
Yeah.
His proportions are hilarious too. If you
They
think
really
about
are.
him.
Yeah.
He's
His
got like a big beer
hands-
belly, but his arms are ripped.
He's kind of skipped leg day, which is funny to me too. It's
Doesn't
he
just
have
skipped,
toddle.
yeah, I was gonna say he skipped the day where you grow legs.
Yeah.
And the thing, like when like even with the mechanics, like when Roadhog jumps, he just don't.
Yeah.
It's just teleporting slightly. That's all it is. There's no muscle exertion there. But so the ship, I love all the headcanons, but the ship I run into the most,
Not run into. What's yours though?
what's mine?
Yeah. That's what we're talking about here,
I
Daily.
know.
Bastion
I
X
know.
Genji.
Bastion X Genji. No, Bastion X
the
Diva's
most-
mech.
The most common one is absolutely Widow Tracer. Like that's the
Oh.
one that shows up. Like it's Jack and Gabe and Widow Tracer are the ones that I
Yeah.
actually see
I've
represented the
seen
most.
Jack and Mercy a lot too. That's like the
I
most
have
predictable.
never seen
because
that.
it's like
I've seen
mom
it.
and dad.
It's
type
mom
thing.
and-
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that mostly as like a surrogate parents thing, but I've never seen people like I do this
Romantically.
because
That's what
I
it's based
ship these two
around.
romantically, you know.
Yeah. I guess the one I do like the most is Jack and Gabe because it's just funny to me them
Hate
like
each other.
hating each other and,
antagonizing each other,
and
yeah.
secretly loving each other. But the
I
one
do this out of love and for your attention, Jack. What? Nothing.
I love that. But
We didn't give you those shotguns for you to throw them away. But now you're looking at me, aren't you?
But also, if you think about it, it's like the one-off lines that Reaper says. You just be embarrassed. I'm back in black.
Oh, that's
Walk away from me.
get away. Leave.
Gabe, we're breaking
now.
up.
I can't do
they
this
both kind of
anymore.
share, like, even like Soldier 76 has some like dumb things. Like I love the smell of like
Pulse munitions,
pulse munitions
in the morning.
Grandpas. That's all it is in my head is grandpas.
Super Grandpa's Reinhardt, though.
Super
He
grandpa.
references David
Yeah.
Hasselhoff.
He's the alpha grandpa, as far as I'm concerned.
Catchphrase.
But I have to.
Catchphrase
oh
is
my-
so good.
I have to ask you guys though, because the one I run into the most, aside from Tracer or Widowmaker, which I think there's been professionally produced porn about that, or professionally animated, one or the other. But
There's
the one,
a lot of professionally animated porn of everything.
yeah, but the one, not the porn part, but like just the ship in general, I see the most is Mikanzo.
True. I completely forgot about
I
the
saw that
Korean
more
episode.
as a joke more than anything. I've never seen it seriously.
That's just because you're around Duffy, who said
Yeah.
it as a joke
Yeah.
one time and then was 100% serious every time after. In reality, that one has always been legit, and I don't understand why.
I
Like,
can't literally. I type in
Something
Overwatch.
I'm down
in
for
Tumblr,
it.
and
and
that's
a
all you
cowboy.
I think it's cute, but like I don't understand why those characters.
I think it's just the appeal of like East meets West, kind of
Ironically,
like
have they ever met?
work. Like yeah, that's the thing too.
But we don't know. 'Cause
know.
We don't know what
canon.
Hanzo is. We know that McCree's part of Blackwatch. We don't know what Hanzo's
No,
done.
he's not Blackwatch. He's Talon.
No, he was Blackwatch.
Yeah. So
he was
like,
Blackwatch.
okay, yeah. Yeah,
'Cause
Hanzo's
Talon-
never
'cause
been
Ta-
part of anything. He's just like a neutral third party that's
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
know.
Talon now is Widowmaker, Gabe, and Symmetra.
Honestly, I'm trying to think. There's like a lot of like third parties. So you got Zarya, who has no like allegiance anywhere
Well, except to Russia.
except to Russia.
Always to
Mother Russia.
Mother
You
Russia.
got, Genji isn't even oh wait, no, Genji kind of is. Initially wasn't. Zenyatta isn't. Bastion isn't.
Well, to be fair, Overwatch was deployed to fight the Omnic Crisis. Bastion was part of the Omnic Crisis.
but he's not a part of Talon, nor is he part of Overwatch.
True.
So you got. I want.
He
this-
just wandered
I
in.
want all these leftovers that aren't for anything make their own faction.
Yeah.
Watch
The
Talon.
leftovers.
Watch.
So you got you got Hanzo, Bastion. You just have Hanzo and a bunch of like Omnics just,
They make up the watch.
who watches
They all-
the Overwatch.
The watch.
We're back to this. We've bookended it.
The upper watch.
Oh my
The
god.
slightly taller than you watch. Everyone has inferiority.
Bastion X Hanzo, calling
complex.
it now.
Oh my
Bastion
gosh.
X Hanzo.
No, I don't.
No, he just loves Bastion. Just loves nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a relationship with Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Actual Disney princess.
Ship Ganymede with everyone.
Oh my gosh.
Ganymede is Doomfist. Swerve.
He just flies into the glove. I'm glad this is where we're ending.
I'm glad too. So
Leaving on a positive note.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, it's very important the things that we discussed in general. I think A+ to Overwatch, maybe not an A+, like honestly in the state that games are right now when it comes to representation of many people of different cultures and especially women, I'm giving an A+. Where would you guys grade Overwatch?
Give it an A- because nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an A just because like there is still the stuff like Symmetra's goddess skins are still a bit but you know they're leagues above most games.
Yeah.
Especially leagues above games with this many characters, leagues above games that are champion based,
Yeah.
leagues above games that are shooters.
Shooters especially. I mean, look at Team Fortress where it's just white dudes.
They're all the same.
They're all the
pretty
same.
much.
They're different body types, but white
Nice.
dudes.
Hopefully, this starts because Blizzard are innovators or visionaries. This may start a trend in future titles. You won't see this ever like in Call of Duty, probably, but like in similar titles like this may be the new standard. Because now they've proven
Yeah.
that there is a market for this if you
just-
put in the work.
It just worries me that we're just gonna start seeing a billion champion based shooters as opposed to things that are taking like what actually worked about Overwatch.
Paladins.
Paladin.
Well, Paladins isn't a champion-based shooter.
Yeah.
Paladins is an Overwatch-based shooter.
With fantasy elements.
Hey.
Yeah, but like, the fact of the matter is like, what works most about Overwatch is the fact that it's accessible.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
Fundamentally, you don't need to know Overwatch. You just need to know how to play your character.
It's a game with 23 different play styles.
Exactly. So you just got to find what you like.
And
so it's,
counting.
in every way, Overwatch is incredibly approachable, and that's what I want to see more of, because it also has one of the hottest competitive scenes on the market. So it has incredibly high highs and incredibly low lows.
It's becoming the esport.
It's the game.
Yeah.
Overwatch is just the game. If it had a campaign, why would you need any other games?
Yeah. So we have the game now. Look forward to the movie maybe someday in the future.
It's the game, the movie.
It's the game, the movie. That's essentially what it is when you get down to it. You're just playing these characters, but there's no canon in the actual gameplay.
The game, the movie, the MMO, the life, the experience. The future.
The life, the experience.
The Coven podcast, which you've been listening to.
Thank you for joining us on the Predator podcast, where we talk about how sick Arnold Schwarzenegger's biceps are.
And on that note.
On that note,
Yeah.
thank you all for joining us tonight on whatever podcast this is. We just don't know. We have many different identities, as does Overwatch. A+ Overwatch. I have been your host, Daily Waham, the Witch of the Wavelengths. Joining me tonight was...
Dalton Martin, the Witch of the South.
Did not get bullied into that at all. And
CJ Street. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're managing editor. You're that?
Hardly.
Okay. Anyway, thank you all for listening tonight. You can check out all our other content here at bytebsu.com, also on our SoundCloud, Ball State Daily, and now on YouTube as well at it's Byte BSU, the YouTube channel. Check us out. And comment with your favorite ship and why our ships are terrible.
Start a flame war in the chat.
Fight me.
Thank you all
Also,
for
fight Dalton.
Fight Dalton, and thanks for listening.